Okay, great. Now we are ready to start. Following that, we have a truly special session for all of you guys. Our weekly inspirational speaker is none other than Mr. Yunis Hijazi, the founder of 10x Indonesia and Uscale. Hello, Mr. Yunis.
Hello,
Hi,
nice to be here.
okay, thank you. Okay, great. So before we dive deeper, I'm going to introduce him and set likes on his remarkable story.
Dafa, I believe this is the very last part of the PPT.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, my bad. Okay. And okay, let's take a look at Mr. Yunis' inspiring journey. So, firstly, from 2019 to 2022, Mr. Yunis is a community leader at Singularity U Benelux, which is a partnership between Singularity University and regional Singularity University alumni. And furthermore, from 2019 until now, there are three companies where Mr. Yunis works. The first is as an innovation funding manager at Azaz Ventures, and also at Open EXO as a certified EXO consultant, advisor, trainer, ambassador, and coach as well. And at Uscale as a founder, and the recent experience is as a founder in 10x Indonesia. So actually, this is just a few for the Mr. Yunis experience. Maybe you can take a look to his LinkedIn. It's very a lot of his experience. So uh, once you have heard a bit more about Mr. Yunis, I have the privilege of posing one question to him to providing us with inspirational insight into his experiences and expertise. And my question is to Mr. Yunis, can you share your story to us of developing a company that, as you said on LinkedIn, can achieve 3 years of growth in only 10 weeks? I mean, what are the tricks, Mr. Yunis? So yeah, the floor is yours.
Do you want me to start answering this question, and then I can talk about more about my path? Maybe I will start by answering this question.
Yeah, sure.
So the whole point of this 10x and actually Uscale and 10x Indonesia, it's the same idea, underlying idea is how to do 10 times more. It can be 10 times more profit, 10 times more contacts. It can be the X is whatever you decide. You just need to set where you are at, and of course it's data driven. So that's what I saw in your teaser video, that measure everything, don't guess, measure. Data is important. So you measure where you are at now, and you look at where you want to be, and you say, okay, we want to 10x this. So for example, we want to have 10 times growth, and that means what is the growth? You want to have 10 times more employees, you want to have 10 times more positive impact. So you need first to understand what you want to achieve, to define what you want to achieve, and to measure where you start from. So that's the first thing. When you say, okay, in 2-3 years, I want to be there, let's set up where we want to be, and then look at where we are now and what do we need to do to achieve this. So what we use for this kind of like becoming future ready, we explain when we do our sprints, our EXO sprints. So we have the concept of exponential organization, that is how to become an exponential organization that performs 10 times better than its competitors. And you have 11 ingredients to become an exponential organization. And I can actually also share, I have a presentation, I can just share one slide which explains which are the ingredients. And you transform into an exponential organization, and you do a sprint, a 10-week sprint, which completely changes the way you work. So it's like you integrate agile, you integrate lean startup methodology, you transform people. And this is the trick. The trick is that all transformation is the transformation of people. Whatever tools you have, if you don't use the tool, if if you just have tools, it's nice, but if you don't use them and you don't change the way you work, you continue to work the same way because you say, I've been working 20 years like that, it doesn't work. You need to transform people. And doing a 10-week EXO sprint where you go from linear organization to exponential organization, you transform people in your organization through small teams. We have teams of 5, 6 people, and we have usually 2 teams that work on the core business model. So you have always what we do is we have 2 tracks. We start with the core business model, how you can optimize your existing business model with exponential technologies, how you integrate artificial intelligence, robotics, drones, all the technologies that are now exploding, so the converging exponential technologies, and how you look at the trends and you integrate the trends so that instead of always reacting, you get future ready, you get prepared for whatever comes next. You become more resilient. So this is one track. You have 2 teams, usually of 6 people in the sprint, in the 10-week sprint, who are focused on how do we transform our existing business model by integrating, injecting exponential technology. If you're a hotel, how, like if you're in hospitality, how can I integrate robots when it makes sense so that humans can rest and then they take over? And then you can have like a symbiosis between humans and robots. So you can use machines, robots where they are good at. You can use drones for certain things. You can use digital biology. So you have to think about those, just what you want to achieve, and then the toolbox at the end. Once you know what you want to achieve, which tools, which technology can help you achieve what you want. And so this is actually one of the hacks. Is you always start with what you want to achieve. You discuss between humans, and then you look at the pool of technology. Then what you can do. So this is, you will increase your revenue by maybe 2 or 3x with this, or you will optimize by 20%, 30%, depending on how much you integrate. So this is your existing business model. You stay in the existing same activities, you just optimize. The other thing, edge. You will create 2 edge teams, which are spin-offs of your company. So even if you're a startup, you create spin-offs and you think about new business models. What is happening in the world? What can we do with our existing resources? And you start brainstorming, okay, what could we do to reinvent ourselves? So before someone disrupts you, you disrupt yourself with exponential technologies, with all these tools. So you run those 2 in parallel. You run the core initiatives, which are your existing business model, and the edge initiatives, which are your new business models that you invent. So we work with business model Canva. We have the EXO Canva, and then we blend those 2, and it becomes an exponential business model, which is super cool. So, and I will show you a slide where you can actually, if I can share my screen.
Okay, sure.
Share now. How to 10x. So this is a 150 slides presentation. So of course I'm not going to go through it now, but I just want to show you with the. I'll just show you the. Yeah, this is the presentation where I usually go through the whole introduction with all the what is happening in the world. I will show you a few key slides. So just to explain, when I say exponential technologies, or what we call Gutenberg moments, these are the exponential technologies. Wearable tech, like all the now personalized medicine, you can augment yourself. It's the whole area of, you measure everything, and you can hack your health to, you can have the Oura ring, you can have all these sensors, and you don't need to go to the doctor all the time. The doctor can get the information remotely. If there is an emergency, it can be sent directly. So personalized health, for example, through wearable tech. You have digital twins, which is very important when you're in a business of, for example, hospitality. You can actually create digital twins of everything, and then you can have capture data with Internet of Things, and you can measure everything. Of course, mixed reality, very interesting metaverse, for example, for hospitality, where you can show people with very realistic digital copies of the real world in the virtual world, not like Roblox. You can do it things like with gaming engines, which make it very realistic. You have solar technology, which is an exponential technology. The price is decreasing exponentially. Today, it's cheaper. The price is lower to create a solar energy-based factory than coal. So today, there is no more incentive to continue with coal and to continue with those heavy industries, solar has a lower price today already. You have all these technologies: cloud, microbiome, blockchain, robotics, AI, of course. So those are all happening at the same time. Then I will show you just a few other slides. Now we say that the next plus 1 billion plus company will be 3 humans plus an army of robots, generative AI bots, and maybe robots later. And you just need a visionary CEO, a product leader, and operations leader, and that's it. The rest is just AI robots. So this is happening, like this can happen very soon. The next billion plus company with just 3 people, with those 3 profiles. So here, yeah, we explain how when you digitize, everything becomes like you're on track to exponential. Here, don't be the next Kodak. So basically, Kodak went bankrupt at the same time when Instagram was a small startup of 13 employees acquired for more than 1 billion by Facebook at the time. So now Meta. And the idea is that you need to move from the scarcity mindset to abundance, and you do this through exponential technologies. And then just a few other slides to show you the methodology. So we analyzed this is the exponential organization book that I use as reference for all my coaching for these sprints. So by Salim Ismail and Peter Diamandis. So I know Salim very well, and I've interacted a few times with Peter Diamandis. And those are the companies that are our models, not just Google, Airbnb. We have like OpenAI, for example, GitHub. Those are exponential technologies. And we have many also examples in Indonesia of exponential organizations. And I just met last weekend Andrew from Workmates at the beach club, and he has 20x his company. He's like amazing what he does, and he's between Bali and Jakarta. So we talk also about those things: 10x, 20x. Those are some of the clients that we worked with. So you see like big brands, like we started with Procter & Gamble. We had 3 sprints recently with Siemens Energy. I'm doing now one with an HR company, which is in between like headquarter in Japan, but we work with the entity in the US. So I work with the opposite time zone, which is a bit painful. And here I will show you the methodology. This is basically here summarizing the 11 ingredients to become an exponential organization. You need a massive transformative purpose. This is your North Star that guides you where you want to go. When we started talking, I told you need to start in the future. You build from the future, and then you go backwards to what do you do on Monday, like what do you do today. But you start with your plan from the future. You don't build from the past. There is a whole, from Dan Sullivan, one of the greatest coaches, business coaches, he says 10x is easier than 2x. To achieve 10 times is easier than 2 times. And it's based on starting from the future, not from the past. And then you have here, you capture the data, you measure, then you transform this with staff on demand. You use community and crowd, algorithms, of course, and AI is very important, generative AI at the moment, to use it, to integrate it. And B does with they don't own assets, they just leverage from people, and they're a platform business model. And engage your community, engage your existing community, use gamification, and keep your community alive. It's very important. And then internally, how you need to integrate that, transform that internally, interfaces to have like APIs, to measure everything visually. You can check on your phone all the dashboards, the KPIs, the OKR, objectives and key results that you have set. So you can measure the performance that you have set on the dashboard. So this is very important also to have in place in your organization, to run constantly experiments, to be lean, not to go for a 1 million budget and then realize it was a fail. It was not a good idea. You can fail with just 1K. You don't need to fail with 1 million. You can fail fast with very small experiments. You don't need to build the whole thing. Just do a prototype very fast. Today, it's very easy. You take technology, you hack it. That's what we do in the sprints. And then give autonomy. So this is the message for the management of your company. I don't know how you work internally. Give autonomy, empower your employees. This is the best way to achieve the most amazing results. And we have so many data on that, so many like case studies. And use social technologies, of course, internally that you can also use with your clients. And then you become an exponential organization. These are the 11 ingredients. You have the hats here, the MTP. And then you have, this is the formula, and then I can another time.
Hello, Mr. Yunis. I do really sorry, but our time is very limited. So maybe we can go to the next session, which is maybe Mr. Jing want to ask a question to Mr. Yunis.
Sure. I'll leave it to the floor, actually, for any questions from any of our... Mr. Yunis, sorry, we just have to keep to our timetable. We really appreciate the stories that you're sharing with us about digital transformation. And I actually do really look forward to catching up with you in real life and learning something about exponential companies. And actually, some of the practices do sound very, very familiar here. Does anybody here want to take advantage of the opportunity and ask Mr. Yunis a question? A smart question, a dumb question, any question? Okay, all right. Well, we know for Khan you have questions, but let's see if anybody else on the floor has any questions. All right. Anybody with a question?
Don't be shy. Shoot.
Yeah. By the way, this is a professional networking opportunity. So if you want to network with a true professional like Mr. Yunis, this is your chance. Josephine raised her hand. Yes, Josephine, what would you like to ask? Josephine is actually one of our interns in HR. What would you like to ask Mr. Yunis?
I believe she was clapping.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, she was clapping. Okay, all right. Clapping is good too, but asking questions is also good. Anybody else? Okay, let's go to you for Khan. Khan, take it away.
Okay,
What would you like
thank
to
you
ask?
very much, Mr. Jim, for the program. Hello, Mr. Yunis. I would like to ask this question. You said many things about AI. I think that is very interesting. How do you say to tackle the the public relation collateral after if we using AI? Because I've seen that I forgot the company, but one CEO posted on Twitter about how they cut employees doing efficiency to move everything to AI for exponential growth, and it's actually affecting that companies a very bad image in the public. How do you deal with that if that happened?
With now X, I mean, which
yes,
Twitter was rebranded as X. I think it's amazing because what he did is to show that you had all these lazy people who are just taking advantage of the system. Because with technology, you can really do a lot with a core, like just a few people, you can do a lot. And he demonstrated this by cutting 80 or 90% of the organization with all the noise. He cut through all the noise. So that requires lots of courage to do something like that. And now he showed the way because the others cannot continue what they were doing. They create this ecosystem with overhead, and they are just like spending, maybe they work half an hour per day. So I think what he did was really good to cut the noise. So people who are not really doing what they're supposed to do, just taking advantage of the system, like people who just stay home and get, in certain countries like France and French, and in France, you have lots of assisted people who get the money from the government and they don't want to go to work because they would earn less if they go to work with gas, with all the bills. And they just stay home and they watch TV. But it's the same with those companies. So I really believe that at some point you need to be honest and say, okay, those people who are paid 100, 500K and they just do nothing, they don't perform, this is not fair. The people who are in those companies, they should have like good work ethics. And you had even people with 3 jobs in parallel, running 3 jobs in parallel with some algorithms. So something is fishy. So you need to look at what's happening. AI is wonderful for increasing capacity. So you need to use AI where it makes sense to be more efficient. So you can save 1 day per week of work when you implement, and that's what I do now with a business partner. We implement in companies AI workflows, end-to-end AI workflows, and you save time and you do more interesting things. So you don't need to do the things that you can actually give to robots and to algorithms. You focus on the more creative things, the more interesting things for a human. And it shuffles completely all the dynamics between, I talk about human-machine symbiosis. I believe that you should leave the humans for the jobs that are interesting and a good match, and push all the rest to algorithms and robots and work hand in hand. And have that in your plan to integrate the robots and the AI, the bots, in your organization as friends, as an extension. And now you have companies that have on their website, they put also the the roles that that they have with machines, with algorithms, with generative AI. They put it on their website. I think this should be the way forward. And I'm not at all afraid. Technology shows, history shows that we increase capacity with technology. We don't cut, we cut only the useless jobs that are not interesting for humans, and we always move forward and we increase the capacity. And that has been shown over and over with technology. And now it's just accelerating. That's all. But you shouldn't be afraid of technology. You shouldn't be afraid of AI. If, of course, in parallel, we have people who care about the ethics and we do things in a certain way. This is very important that we have safeguards. But as long as we have these safeguards, we should not be afraid. You should empower technology. Otherwise, if you don't do it and your competitor does, you're just out of the game in just 1 or 2 years. So anyway, you have to do it.
Okay, I like it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Yunis. I'd like to catch up more with you to follow up on my questions, but I think the time is limited here, so I would like to get back to give the floor back to Dava as our host.
Okay. Thank you to Kak Furqan for the question, and thank you for answering the question, Mr. Yunis. Maybe we still want to know more about Mr. Yunis, but we have limited time here and need to move on to the next segment. Thank you so much, Mr. Yunis, for sharing your inspirational stories and experiences with all of us. We will continue to the next segment. For Mr. Yunis, if you have some urgent matters right now, you can leave this meeting, or maybe you want to stay here and see the rest of our agenda. So we'll be moving on to our next segment, which will be moderated by my friend Dinda. Without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Dinda. Dinda, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dava. Okay, so can you move to all hands page, Dava?
Dinda, I think Mr. Jing has presented the share screen, so I think you should call him directly.
Okay, Mr. Jing, time to present your presentation. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you. I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Yunis for coming here and speaking with courage about a topic that often makes a lot of people uncomfortable. And I think that particular kindness and also that courage and also that clarity of the vision to think about what is in store for the future is it's the very principle of an inspirational speaker. So thank you for coming to us and inspiring us. One of the things I think that Bukit Vista does well is that we do actually stay on the front of innovation before everybody else actually gets comfortable with it. I would say in general, we're early adopters. However, I think it's also being scary, being an early adopter, because you get to face all the problems first, you get to see all the challenges, and you probably have to deal with twice the amount of issues that the second or third person comes along to see. But I think that particular vision is correct. There is no particular world in, let's say, I think the future without using AI, because simply put, a person who uses AI will be far more effective, productive, and useful for not just a company, but for the end consumer, for a person who's making a purchase decision or any particular efficiency decision. So embrace it. You're probably in a generation now of people who are similar to people who had to decide maybe in the 80s and 70s whether or not to use computers. I would really, really doubt that there's still many jobs left in any particular offices where you can get by without using a computer, okay? I don't know if anybody remembers what a slide rule or a floppy disk or a tape cassette or any of these particular technologies were, but if you don't, it's because they don't exist anymore. And the people who actually were too comfortable with that, they probably don't have also much to do these days besides working in maybe museums. All right, let's jump into it. For your time, everybody, let's talk about the 2023 vision. So once again, I'm going to talk more on this concept of self-knowledge, because I think self-knowledge is something that we are experiencing some confusion about. So I, as somebody who's observing, have decided to point this particular out. This is what I see what we're doing over the past few weeks. Seems like we are stopping on the goal. So a few weeks ago, we actually exceeded our revenue target, and we've already crossed over most of our hospitality targets for the semester. Unfortunately, I think this is exactly what we look like right now in terms of a macro view. We seem to have stopped at the goal. We're not that hungry anymore to try to move the hospitality targets up. We're not that ambitious on actually reaching our revenue goals. And this is exactly what I see the situation is. Yes, we will probably reach our goal, but the ball is right on the line. So why is this happening? Why is this happening? And I have a pretty good explanation. Indra, who is the CEO of BoboBox, came to our house one time, came to this base a few weeks ago, and he explained to me something that he learned from Sequoia Ventures, which is the company that's funding his company. So they flew him all the way out to Silicon Valley, had to meet with the CEO of the venture capital there, and they sat Indra down, they told him this. They said, most people don't actually understand what they're good at. Most people are really good at surviving. You hear your parents sometimes talk about, oh, how difficult it was to raise you and how many challenges they went through and all the particular thing. I know, my parents told me that all the time. But guess what? That's easy to do because humans are actually built to survive. That's why we are still here today. We're all actually built to survive. We're not all built to succeed. And what we do when we have actually crossed over our success, whether or not we want to set new goals, whether or not we have more ambition, that is not a particular condition that everybody can be used to doing. So we just heard earlier about the idea of transformation, about this idea of integrating a culture of people together with tools and technology. We have the technology, we have the strategy, we have the workflow. But when we reach our success, we become content, we become kind of lazy, we don't push the boundary any further. And so, therefore, these are the problems that we're seeing. We know why, but we don't enforce. I think I brought this over last week. We know that Airbnb is already the dominant platform, but we still listen to whomever who are less knowledgeable, less educated, less experienced than us, and we go ahead and we set another Booking.com listing for a particular property because the person we're supposed to be leading told us that that's the right thing to do.
That's right.
We don't know why we fail, and we don't know why we succeed. That's also happening. When we reach a moment of victory, of success, we go, okay, that's great, let's celebrate, but what were the steps that got us there? What were the strategies that got us there? Who were the people who led the particular movement? As a company, I would say in general, we still are not entirely sure of these particular moments of success, and we're also not entirely sure for the moments that we actually experience failure too as well. And this was also indicated in the performance graph of our website. So as a result, I've made some leadership changes. And those of you who probably have experienced it will see what those changes have been, all right? Some people have been demoted from leadership positions, some people have been promoted. So you'll hear about this later as we go through the rest of the all hands. But I think this is my job at this point because I've spoken about this many times. If you want to stay in a particular position of leadership, it goes back to this particular principle again, okay? We're very forgiving for everybody who wants to be a leader, who wants to step up to actually rise to challenges. We're forgiving to make decisions and everything that maybe don't actually work well. But if you're afraid of making decisions, if you are not curious about what you can do, if fear is the overwhelming emotion that you experience every day when you're leading, then that position of leadership should go to somebody who is more curious, who is more intrepid, who will make those decisions. And so I want to just keep on going back to this particular idea because this is so important for each one of you. I hope you're listening to my voice right now carefully, all right? If you are, as long as you're curious about what you need to do, curious about what is the next particular thing, curious, and you don't let the fear overwhelm what you need to do, then you will be inspired. Not just here, anywhere you go. And you will be somebody everybody will look forward to working with and somebody everybody will want to follow to. Your curiosity should always overcome your fears. All right. On a lighter subject, let's talk about the roundtable talk. So last week we had some fun people coming in. We had Helmi, our astound neighbor, who built one of the most amazing homes here in Puerto Gading. And we had Nash, who is a fellow CEO on O2O Stays. So Helmi actually showed us all the different types of personalities that he's had. He's been an entertainment director. He's been an actor. That's him on his foldable phone right there. And this is a proud moment. Nanda, I think that's the first time you've been able to open a bottle of wine without having me assist. So congratulations. Now Nanda's next milestone is to become the sommelier here at Bukit Vista. So thank you. Happily the bartender. My wife has always started cooking up fish. She made a special beurre blanc sauce. If you haven't tasted it yet, it's amazing. It's a little bit like garlic, onions, and a little bit of lemon with thyme. It's really good. So come by to the Bukit Vista base to eat, and these roundtable talks is pretty amazing. Next, I think we're passing the limit, yeah? Erica looks unsure of what to do. She's kind of looking at, maybe I should eat the food. Maybe I should pass the food. But Helmi's being nice, right? Helmi's serving Erica, which is a happy thing. In addition, we also had some guests come over from Finn's Beach Club and also White Rock, I think one of the beach clubs here in Uluwatu as well. And our old friend Ara came back as one of our guests to attend the roundtable talk as well. Ara now is a general manager at Indo Linen, which is one of the foremost towel making companies, I guess, here in Bali. And we're probably looking at some data or something over there. I'm not sure what we're doing. Here's me laughing because I'm drinking. I'm drinking with other people who are drinking, which generally is the only thing that brings any true humor to my life. Sadly, I've become an alcoholic. Okay, for those of you, okay, thank you, Wendy, for laughing. All right, I have one person who enjoys my humor. The rest of you can just look at me with cold gazes, and I'll remember that on grading employee journals. I'll be extra nice. Okay, anyway, so those of you working in engineering, I'm showing the world your fucking product, okay? I'm showing the world your product, so you do have an audience besides the people who actually are staffing our properties, right? So I'm showing the world, so don't make me look stupid. When I demo the product, it better work. Otherwise, I might show Sandy Ono, which, by the way, actually, that guy, and I met Sandy Ono, I forgot to actually mention that. Him and I were at the same conference. We met the minister at the same time. He had a really smart question. And yeah, so make sure the product works. This is bigger for those of you who have never seen it. The other thing is Discord, and I don't know what's on my other screen. Hopefully it wasn't anything that would compromise my integrity as a CEO. Oh my God, I actually shaved my head. Normally I have these really weird Benedict monk circles that come on the side, but I got my hair trimmed in time, so I don't have that terrible side profile. If you guys notice, I never put my terrible side profile pictures on the RQTs because it would actually discredit my authority as a CEO. Anyways, Marcel doing what he does. Marcel never looks happy, yeah? Which was great because we can send him to talk to the most difficult people. We'll send him to say, hey, look, you haven't been actually getting walk-in guests. I think you've actually been, or you haven't been doing maintenance. I think you've been doing walk-in guests. Has anybody seen The Godfather? Has anybody ever watched The Godfather? Yeah? Marcel is Luca Brasi. Hey, Brasi. Yes, Dalfa, you know Luca Brasi, right? Luca Brasi was the guy everybody was afraid of. I'm going to make Marcel the Luca Brasi. All right, Marcel, generally, we have him here so that partners know we mean business. I like that. Okay, anyway, once again, the mission of the company, that big purpose, that North Star that our guest just told us about is this, all right? So if you're wondering how we integrate everything together, this is the North Star statement: to inspire delight through hospitality innovations that positively transforms guest partners and employees. That's our mission. If you haven't noticed, by the way, everything we talk about during the all hands is related to this theme. This is the one thing you need to think about. Okay, let's talk about the semester goal. So we reached the semester goal, but not quite. It hasn't been October 5th yet, so that's why I hate seeing the numbers go down, because it makes me feel really like punched in the face, like somehow we're just gonna like stop on the goal line. But anyways, the revenue goal is 2.4, overall rating 4.5, and 5-star percentage 70%. 3x individual bonuses if the company achieves targets. Right now, we're on track to achieving all 3 targets, okay? But please remember, it's an individual bonus. So if we see that you have not been actually paying attention, maybe I will reconsider what the percentage of the individual bonuses should be at the high level, okay? So please don't cruise into the goal. There are bigger goals, like our guest just talked about. So let's focus on what happens after we reach these goals, right? Anyways, you can screenshot this in case I decide not to pay you, right? You can come back and argue like, hey, you know, Jen, you told me to. Nadia's laughing, right? Because she knows it's a joke. Or not? I don't know. Could be a joke, right? Now, we take our bonuses very seriously. We take bonuses more seriously than the Indonesians take eating. You know, meals are sacrosanct in Indonesia, right? Everyone deserves to eat. But our bonuses are where we don't mess around. Okay, anyway, those are the things. Take another screenshot here if you're an intern. If you have any dispute whether or not you qualify for this, come and talk to me. I'll either agree or disagree with you. I don't know. Just assume I'll disagree. Just assume I'll say no, okay? I'm not paying. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. If you did the job, then do it. But if you feel like you are, oh, this is a good point. This is a good point to actually mention this. So I'll mention it now. If you ever feel your bonus was not correctly graded, I give everybody the authority to come and talk to me about it. Okay? You guys have supervisors and hypervisors and everything. But ultimately, I think this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where anybody can come and talk to me. If you ever feel like your bonuses have not been correctly graded, come and talk to me, okay? I'll do an audit. That's generally how I check if the company is actually even working correctly. So maybe you found something that wasn't working, all right? So come and talk to me if you feel like your bonus is unfair. Generally, 80% of the time is because you didn't understand how bonuses work and you were doing the wrong particular thing or whatever. But some of the time, it's actually because there's something wrong with the system, okay? So do yourself a favor, do myself a favor, step on toes. That's something you should step on toes about. I know in Asian culture, we generally just don't challenge authorities or we eat what's on our plate, but it's say about bonuses. If you feel like you deserve a bonus, then take it. All right, this is for Khan telling me to get off the stage so you can play the Academy Award music and I will step off and pass it to the next person, okay? Hey, I have a great idea. If somebody is taking too long to speak, you know, at the Academy Awards, they actually will go and play that music.
Yes.
You can just start playing the music, then they'll walk off. I like how Chinto's laughing. That's great. Hi, Chinto. Okay. Social graces. That's giving the bad news on a silver plate. Wouldn't you agree, Furkan? Okay.
Yes, I agree. But I'm sorry, Mr. Jing. I need to take over this and pass it the floor back to Dinda to proceed with the rest of the all hands. I think that is all that you have on your plate, sir.
Definitely.
Definitely. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jing, for the reminder. Okay, Dinda, please take over the stage.
Okay, thank you so much for such an inspiring presentation, Mr. Jing. So we can move to Airbnb dashboard that will present by Kak Kayla. Kak Kayla, please make it more effective due to limited time. Time is yours.
Okay, moving on, this is actually being held by Cinta to help me conduct the report. Okay, moving on, we can directly go to the changes of timeline here. All right, the first one will be the communications. We had an improved this week. We had 0.2 improve from 79.7 to 79.9. Congratulations for the communication part. This is the hosting relatively. For the accuracy part, we also have an increase to 76.6% for this week. Also an increase, next one, to the check-in. This one is stable. We keep on the 81.7%, good sign for this. Moving on, for the location, we had a decrease. Location is the first one to decrease from 71.8 to 71.7. And the next one would be the value, the second to decrease from 71.9 to 70.2%. And the last one, I believe on cleanliness, a drastic downhill, this one, from 69.1 to 66.3%.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me stop that. Does anybody see the problem with that slide?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, the difference is
September.
the range.
Okay, it's still actually terrible news because that means we're getting worse, right? But it's not accurate according to our metrics, okay? Yeah.
Tapi you can use my PowerPoint if you would like. It has more accurate number there.
Sure.
Okay, let's keep on moving. It's still fast.
Yeah, maybe for this one later on, we're going to share basically the PowerPoint on the announcement, so you can take a look on that yourself. Yeah. Overall quality, at the moment we are at 72.3% with 4.59 for the overall rating. Okay, next up, Dinda. Okay, this is something that we need to keep improving from last week, which is good input relevant with good output, supposedly. Between that, there's a management process, how to process the input to the desirable output. I believe in this one, the SPI for bad reviews or property quality is actually the one that plays the significant part on how we handle especially the cleanliness process. This is to hosting and reservation templates. Do not forget to put your SPI from your daily findings basically, so the partnership team and overall team can process that. Thank you. Back to you, Dinda.
Okay, thank you, Kak Kayla, for the presentation. And we're going to move to weekly mission inspiration. The first one we have Amanda. Can you? Okay, Dava. Thank you, Dava. Amanda, that will share her story that inspired delight to our guests. Amanda, time is yours.
Okay, first of all, really sorry that I cannot turn on my camera. It seems like there's a problem. Okay, so like a few days ago, Mr. Jing asked us, the hosting team, to buy duty-free liquor to our guests, and promising to reimburse them. And I directly visited them to get the liquor, and then I bought them pizza also. And right before I leave the villa, he called me and said the liquor is on him. We don't need to pay him back. And then later that night, I invited him to come to our base, and then he came. Due to its last minute, we only had martabak. So, and he bought the beer, like one box full of beer. He bought it by himself. And then we had a talk like with Nanda, Jay, Kak Cinta, Kak Shelin, talking about life. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Next to Kak Furkon, who will share their story through positively that transform our employees. Kak Furkon, time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. So last week I went to the MOU MSIB offline signing in Jakarta with the Kemendikbud, and I also engaged with several activities there, and also helping government officials to present some of the solutions, and also point out some problems that they have with the existing MSIB as well. So that you can see my photos there, and yeah, thank you very much, Dinda. Floor back to you.
Okay, thank you, Kak Furkon. Next one is inspiring through technological innovation. The first one is Kak Vidi. Kak Vidi. Time is yours.
Gaya is like an intern. Sometimes it thinks that no answer are needed. You can revise it to still provide an answer to the guest.
Okay, thank you, Kak Robin, ya, the talking. Next one to Dava.
Okay, thank you, Dinda. So, for what I want to say is design grade assessment tool for projection. So there is already a new tool that will help with projection, which will give a grade to the design description we provide. Therefore, the perception of each projection executor will be same to the grade of the design. So we can just click it, runtime, and run all, and then enter the positive contributors of the property design. And after that, the grade of the design appears at the bottom of the description. So I think that's all from me. Back to Tinda.
Thank you, Dava. And next to Kak Abam.
The next one is BV website, Bali Events Calendar. There's some dates. The first one is filter months and category. User can filter the events in the month the event takes place, and also according to the category. And then the second one is the search event. User can easily search the event name or title, and some pick some layout or interface. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Kak Abam. And next, we're moving to company theme. That will be explained by Kak Kayla. Kak Kayla, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dinda. All right, for this one, we can, to save the time, we can directly move to the inspections on this month's theme. Just a simple reminder that we have a monthly theme as accountable leadership means that you need to lead with courage and integrity. You need to take ownership of your actions and choices, and you also empowered to make bold decisions, basically to make the necessary changes or improvements. All right, for the inspection of this month theme, you can uncollapse the bridge there, Linda. Yep, thank you. We have three things. All of them are thread for three different squad. The first one, For the partnership squad, this is unoptimized resource planning. Actually, a feedback from Mr. Jing this morning that we've made efforts to enhance our productivity and generate better outcomes, but it appears that our scores have not seen a significant increase as of now. It's possible that the resource allocations and workload distributions within the partnership team might not have been strategically planned and optimized. Therefore, we'll assess our prioritizations and workload distributions to ensure that we are achieving more goal-oriented and productive results, basically with the current resource that we have. The second one, this is to the revenue manager team, to Bella and Kalilis. We have a thread, this one being brought up by Bella actually yesterday. We have several property with occupancy rate exceeding 50% that are currently experiencing a slow booking pace, resulting in vacancies during the last week of September and the first week of October. I believe we need to enhance our executions of dynamic pricing strategies to restore a consistent booking pace. And the last one, this is to guest squad, addressing to Krishna and Marcel. There's a thread in the conversion from guest experience to reviews. So we have observed that numerous guests who have had a delightful stay with us have not yet provided us with a review. For example, like Villa Rafa, Villa Rumah Pertama, Lot 6, those properties that are like guaranteed 5 stars. Our current hypothesis suggests that the imbalance between the number of guests who express dissatisfactions through complaints and those who leave positive reviews is negatively impacting our overall hospital performance. Actionable for this one, encouraging our team to remind the guests to leave reviews with a certain level of selectivity based on their known positive experience. This is basically repeat actions from the last 6 months that we have not yet optimized. All right, for all the teams, if you have any comments on that, please do so like Krishna just did, so we can move on and proceed it as expected within this week. Moving on to the September target, this is a reminder we have a minimum of $500,000 with the stretch target of $550,000. The minimum for 5-star rating would be 70%, and we're at the brink of it. And the overall is 4.5. Let's not get it or low, this one, guys. Moving on to the ADFR, we have failed to achieve basically our target for the last 3 weeks. I believe this one, we need more evaluations regarding the goals that we need to achieve from the BI side. At the moment, we are at $4,079. For the achievements, by today, we have achieved $464,878. Revenue for September, so it's about 92.97% achieved for the minimum target, with 10% available nights to sell. So to be able to achieve the September target, we have around $35,122 more. The percentage of owner use is stable at 5% for September, but the remaining potential is actually less than our remaining target. All right, last one for the September target. Mr. Jing has announced this before that we have achieved it. At the moment, we have achieved $2,553,230 basically, with the current 5-star rating on our rating that you can see the picture below. Right, I believe that's all. Let's still strive to achieve September target. We still have a couple days left, guys, so still time for that. Let's focus more and gather our resources correctly and prioritize correctly. That's all from me. Thank you. Back to you, Dinda.
Thank you so much, Kak Kayla, for your presentation. And the next one is promotion and new employees. Will be presented by Kak Shalin. Kak Shalin, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dinda. So this is actually opportunity as well to actually say gratitude to all of our employees as well as those who actually step up and has basically proven themselves that they are capable, as Mr. Jing mentioned just now. So here gladly announce a few promotions to some of our team members over here. So the first one is to I'll go from the bottom one first, yeah. So the first one goes to Nadia. So she is currently the senior UX strategist, especially in the marketing team, and she's currently a supervisor trainee as well. And to Furkan, who just started as upper management role in the human resource manager in training. And last but not least, to Marcel, who is actually succeeding his role as the assistant hypervisor in the guest squad and currently appointed as the Vice President of Operations in Training. So I'd like to once again congratulate everyone over here, and let's work together and see better visions and better results in the near future. Yay! All right, so congratulations everyone. And one last thing, we actually have a new intern coming in today. So instead of slide, I'll just announce it here. So we have Ahmad Ali. So Ahmad Ali maybe can wave or like, yeah, so that everyone can see you. So he just like completed his trials previously the last 4 days and just started his day one as a backend intern. So engineering team, makin ini ya, makin ngegas ya. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kak Shalin. Welcome, Ellie, and congratulations for you guys who was like Kak Shalin. And we're moving to core value recognition. The first one, I would like to call Moana for sharing her stories. Moana, time starts.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. So, basically, last week on the weekend, so I want to recognize Mbak Joanna and Eric and also Bimo, because it was like last minute emergency happening that owner tell us to just take care of everything. So basically I took Joanna and Bimo wherever in the morning to help with the breakfast to fulfill like what we promised to the guests, inspire the light. And it wasn't easy, but have a good team is a key. So work together with them and the best. So that's all.
All right, thank you, Moana. So we're moving to Kak Nadia. Kak Nadia.
Okay, thank you. So this actually to Abam and VD. So basically last week I made a request to the engineers to help enhance the content structure and also implement the visualization through the code for our BP website, especially for the Bali calendar event, the 2022 page. So thank you, Abam and VD, for making it come true. Yeah, thank you guys.
Yay, thank you, Kak Nadia and Moana, and congratulations for those who mentioned. And I believe we don't have enough time to read your personal update one by one, but I do notice that some of you still haven't filled the box, so the punishment still applied, yeah, guys. One box is 10 for 10 push-up. I believe Kak Shia already recorded. And that's the end of our all hands meeting. Thank you for coming and see you.
Wait, hold on a second.
Wait.
We got 2 minutes. I'd just like to say something. Okay, if we could turn the screen share off, I'll speak, yeah? Okay, thank you. All right, listen up, everybody. Ultimately, my job in this company is to do 2 things. It's to, 1, make a vision that everybody can understand so that we, as a group of people, will succeed in going after a particular opportunity in this world that is meaningful, purposeful, and ultimately, hopefully enhances everybody's lives and careers. Here's the other thing. When I make these particular vision, I need to find the people that can actually support it on a day-to-day, hour by hour, year by year basis, all right? Now, one thing I want to make sure that everyone understands is this. Some of you got promoted, some of you got demoted. Promotions are easy to manage because, hey, it's great, right? I'm getting promoted. I'm going to get more pay, more thing. It's honorable. But it's actually, I think, how you deal with a demotion that actually tests your character. How you deal with a demotion is a true test of character. Just as a fact, I've been fired 3 times in my life, right? Wait, 4 times to count my research job. So I've been fired more times than I've been hired. And eventually I became a CEO, right? Each time I got fired, I hated the person who fired me. I hated the person who demoted me because I thought they were stupid, visionless, whatever, right? When I got a little bit older, I realized actually they did the right thing. They did what they needed to do to teach me what I needed to learn. And that's not even a demotion, that's getting fired, okay? So the thing I want you guys to know is this. Most of you pretty young here. So you probably have a very inaccurate view of what a career actually looks like. You probably get your ideas of what a career looks like from watching movies, right? It's like one promotion, next promotion, you get to the top. An actual real career looks like this. You get promoted, then you get demoted, then you get promoted again, then you find a different thing that you actually really want to do, and then at some point, maybe all the dots start connecting together and you find out what you really want to do with your life, what you really want to do with the rest of your time here on Earth. It's a process, okay? So when you do actually hear some good news about people being promoted, be happy, but maybe not too happy either, right? There is a chance that essentially you're stepping into a new job, new responsibility, and yes, we should be happy that you're getting this opportunity, but it is a big responsibility when you get promoted, all right? Similarly, when you get demoted or something doesn't happen according to plan, take that as actually, I think somebody told me, try harder. Try harder. It's the world telling you essentially that what you're doing probably isn't right. So think about how to try harder. Now, let me expand that statement, which is generally a very empty statement. Try harder means try harder to understand who you are. Maybe whatever you think you're good at, you're actually not good at. Try harder to understand if you are correctly motivated. Do you actually enjoy doing the work that you do? Try harder to understand, essentially, do you lack the knowledge? Try harder to understand if you lack the understanding. Try harder to understand if it's just bad execution. You need somebody to supervise. Try harder to ask if you actually have the right method, okay, in what you're doing here. This organization is meant to transform people, and we've been very successful in transforming hundreds of people in their careers, all right? But what you get out of it as a person here depends on how you put into the work at hand, all right? That's it. Okay, so I hope that helps with the thought process and gives everybody the correct inspiration they need to succeed either here or everywhere else that you want to succeed in life. Nanda, isn't this great? I like how you're yawning, yeah? Am I boring you, Nanda? All right, anyways. How can I say, everyone? Go inspire delight.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jing, for your last word. One thing before we break out, make sure, guys, to engage in our personal updates asynchronously, because I believe there are so many interesting things to look at our colleagues' updates, yeah, this week. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, and have a nice week ahead.